Hello, good afternoon. This is RB from Extreme Automation. Um, these past few days, to I was working for a project that will try to replace my LED strip remote control because I have a bunch of them since I'm using a lot of controller for my 5 meters RGB lead strip. So I decided to create universal remote control for all of them so that I can synchronize one command to send for all the controller. So I have heard I have here a video of my remote control. So basically it has like 24 buttons, and um, I I want to transfer all this control to my home automation, and to do that I did buy the IR transceiver, which has a built-in Wi-Fi with ESP8265, and then I modify my firmware so that it can transmit the IR based from the code which I gather from this remote control. Okay, so on the past few days I was working to get all the um, code, and these are all the code which I get um, from my receiver. I recorded all of them, and after I recorded all of them, um, I added the IR functionality on my XTR HE firmware, which is over here. This is my latest version now. So I have added this ESP8266, which has the IR send, and based from the code and raw data that I get from this list, I managed to duplicate most of them, actually all of them, for this RGB lead strip remote control. The trick here is I have actually two options. I can do it on the MCU. I can save all my code on the MCU, but then there's a bunch of them, and it will become like a lot of memory resources, and ESP8265 is just 1 MB in memory, and that will be a big problem for me in the long run. So I have decided that I will just put all the programming on my Node-RED. So on my Node-RED I have this little bit you can see there's like I'm drawing something, but this is my Node-RED that is responsible for my IR. So these are my 24 buttons, equivalent to the 24 buttons present on my remote control for my RGB light. So basically I have two functions over here. The first function is responsible for my IR entity that should be registered on HasIO automation. And if you look at that function, so I declare my entity as 24, and then I create my configuration topic, and I have a configuration topic for my switch, and I also have two configuration topic as a sensor. So the purpose of my sensor, the other one is for the message, and the other one is the actual raw data that I'm going to send to my microcontroller, which is the ESP8265 IR transmitter receiver. Okay, so basically this is just initialization. Once you run this one, he will initialize all the MQTT configuration topic so that it will be auto discoverable in the HasIO. So usually when I do graphical programming for any logic controls, I make it like artistic view so that when I do debugging, I will not feel bored, and it's easy for me to debug. So see, it's beautiful, right? Okay, so my second function is it is where I process the data, and that data is the IR code equivalent for each button. So if you can remember, I have here like 24 code that I get from my remote control. What I did is I'm going to replicate that using this process, using this function. So this function will do the IR data process. If my activation is coming from button 1, then I'm going to send this code, which is equivalent to brightness, and that code is over here, which is this one over here, brightness, so on and so forth. So I have done this several times, repeatedly, with the same function, using the switch syntax on my function. Okay, so my second data is for my message, so that I know which button was activated, and the first one is the actual raw data that I'm going to send to my IR transceiver, which is the ESP8265. Okay, so simple as that. The first payload is my IR data 1, and the IR data 2 is the description of the activation. So okay, to hold the value of my switch, my set function, I pass it to my state, so that when it will display on my home assistant, it will latch the value of my command to the actual state of the switch. Okay, so after deploying this one, after running all of them, if you look at my home assistant, all those buttons is already coming out, and these are the 24 buttons, and these are the 2 sensor that I have just created on fly. So I have the actual raw data, and I have the raw messages. So if you look at here, if we go back again to the camera, this is my button, and this is like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 24 over here, and that will be equivalent to this 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Okay, so I managed to make this one work, at least with no bugs. I have a difficulty earlier on managing the code, because it's an array, and if you will not manage it properly from the JSON data, then you will run out of memory from your ESP8265. So okay, I think we can try this one. So in this case, if I send one, that will be equivalent to brightness. That will be equivalent of brightness to my remote control, which is this one. If I want to send a red color, that should be the number 5, green 6, blue is 7, white is 8, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's start this thing. Okay, unsay number sa red? Ayaw pinduta.
5.
5, okay. So my red is number 5. So it's from here. I will make the light to red. Okay. And my green, I want to be green, which is ang green, unsay number?
6.
6. So green will be 6. Okay. And then 7 will be my blue. I'll make it blue. Right? And 8 will be white. Okay, 9 will be... Saan ang color ng 9? Orange, no?
Oh.
9 will be orange. Okay, next. Okay. Ang kuan ang smooth, no say number sa smooth. So I want smooth number 24, no? Ang smooth ba 24? 24 lagi pinaka last. Okay, so I can also do the smoke. Smoke means we will be changing the transition, the light color. So this is number 24. Okay, that's the smoke. Put another color. Put red. Red is number 5. Oh no, number 6. Okay, then I will turn it off. Off is number what? Off 3, no?
Off number 3.
Okay, I will off. Okay, I will on. Number 4. 4 is on. I will do the smoke. Okay. So okay, I think that's all. I managed to activate all the button, and I converted it over here on my HAS.io on my home automation. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create beautiful graphics where it will show like the same as the remote control. So because this is not like a user friendly, I'm just putting a number 1 to 24, but it doesn't make sense because there's like 24 equivalent to smooth, number 6 equivalent to green, and so on and so forth. So it should be like similar to the remote control. Okay, that's all. Thank you.